Hi friends, welcome to the Blue Wagon Stitcher. In just a moment you're going to get my full enthusiastic greeting as I share with you my experience with Stitch West this past weekend. I had originally planned to put together both my plans and my expectations for Stitch West video and then combine it with my post Stitch West tell-all, and it was just too long. So this is part 2, which is my after retreat experience. So enjoy hearing about my events, my stitching, my starts, my finishes, and all things that I experienced during my adventures with Stitch West, my very first cross-stitching retreat. I had a ton of fun. So I hope you enjoy hearing about my experience and my adventures over the weekend. Thanks. Hey friends! Welcome to the Blue Wagon Stitcher. This is probably going to be attached a couple of videos together. I think I mentioned that in the first segment of this. I am back from the Stitch West retreat. I just got back today. It is Tuesday. The retreat was Friday to Sunday, and then I stayed and tacked on some work that I had in Utah for the 2 days following that, Monday and Tuesday, and I just got back today. It's about a 3-hour drive from Ogden, where the retreat was, for me to drive to my home in Idaho. So not bad at all, but it was good to spend the weekend and have the retreat, and then to tack on the work, and then to be back home. So I'm happy to be home, but I was so excited, and I started to unpack my things, and I told my husband, oh, but I can't unpack the things because I've got to show all of my stitchy friends on YouTube. And he said, well, you better just go make a video then. So here I am making a video real quick. I'll try to make it as quick as possible so I can get back and spend some time with my family. They missed me, understandably, and I missed them, but I am happy to be back at home. So I want to start with all of the stitchy kindness. I was blown away. This was my very first retreat. I had not been to any cross-stitch retreats before at all. I knew a little bit about what to expect just from other FlossTube friends in the community sharing about their experiences with retreats, but it was amazing. I think every stitchy person who can possibly make it happen should go to a stitch retreat. It was so good for my soul. When I talked to my husband last night, I just was so grateful for his support in supporting me to go. Allowing is not the right word. It wasn't an allowing thing. It was he supported me and held down the fort here at home to make it possible for me to go and spend those 3 days away and enjoying what I have become passionate about, what I love, with other women who love the same thing. To be able to talk stitchiness with them and have them understand and have the same vocabulary and ooh and ah over patterns together, to shop shepherd's bush together. It was just incredible. I was very apprehensive because I did go alone. And had to be a little bit of adventurous to go to such a thing all by myself and not know anyone that was going to be there. And right off the bat, I'm standing in line, and this wonderful lady in front of me is standing in line. She turns around and we strike up a conversation. We find out that we're both there on our own. We're both there for the very first time. It's our first retreat for both of us, and we just hit it off. And we're like, okay, let's be buddies. And then it just so happens that the two ladies in front of us had been to retreats before, but it was just the two of them, and they had reconnected and found each other. They had been to retreats, to at least a retreat before, where they met each other and had found each other just in line and connected. And so the four of us ended up sitting at a table together with our other four, well, it was 3 other gals, and it was just amazing. So shout out to table 18. I'll say everybody's names and I'll get mixed up. Kim and Audrey and Sue and Mary and Laura and Janet. There we go. We got everybody. It was just so fun. So first I want to share with you the Stitchy kindness. It's customary at retreats to share table gifts, and they're just small gifts of Stitchy sentiments, I guess you could say, right? And so I think on my the first segment I shared with you the gift that I made for my table, and so I will share with you now what my table mates shared with me. All right, here we go. Let's see here. First, I'm just going to kind of go around in the table order of the way they were sitting with me. When we arrived, these were waiting for us, I believe. Yeah, these were done by Chicks and Stitches, one of the vendors there, for Stitch West. So I didn't show it. So a little cute little ruler themed little box to hold all of your Stitchy stuff while you're stitching. Okay, so that was waiting for us. I think that was from our Stitch West friends. I'm not totally sure because it was just waiting there for us. This was also there, and this was I believe this was Laura's shop. So Laura was one of the vendors there, and so was Mary. And I'll share all of their shop information and everything towards the end of the video so you can shop from them. They were lovely ladies, and they were so kind to us. So convenient to have vendors sitting at your table, and we'd be stitching and be like, oh, I need this color. And they'd hop up and go get the color of thread that we needed and come back. Or like, we're interested in this pattern. Do you have it? And they got up and got the pattern and just talked all of the Stitchy kinds of things with us. And so that was really fun to have them at our table. Kim made some fantastic items. She made great little needle books for us. So cute. So she had a bunch, and we just chose what we liked. So I like this little hexagon pattern. It kind of matched the bee theme that I've got going on. So cute. So this is an Ort catcher. You've probably seen them. These little corners snap together and end up making a cute little square Ort catcher. And y'all, she made these cute little pin cushions. It's strawberry themed. I picked out strawberry. My next Stitchy box that I want to make is going to be strawberry themed. So I'm on the lookout for all of the strawberry items. And then she also ordered for us needle minders. And look at that. In this fun little bobbin shape. And they are magnetic, pretty strong needle minders. So that was from Kim at our table. All right, and next, Audrey gave us all this great little pack. She had, she put on there with vinyl, Stitch West, April 2025. And it's got this cute little frog decal she put on the back. This is a measuring tape, by the way. And then she put in there one of these fun little flower box cutters. We've got to have something to open all of your packages, right? How cute. So that was from Audrey. And then from Mary, who's at our table. She's the owner of BU Needleworks. And she put together this cute little zip it, like a zipper. Yeah, a zipper holder. And it's got like a bunny and a carrot and a cute little tulip. And then I should open this. There's also a thread organizer in the shape of a tomato. I'll open that real quick. Sorry to try to get that bag away from the microphone for you, so I can show that to you. And it's got the name of her shop on there. How cute that is. So a little tomato. So look up BU Needleworks and Chicken Stitches. I think they have websites, Etsy. I have their information somewhere in my things that I will share with you. Okay, and then, Sue shared with us, we each got to pick out this amazing zipper pull that she made. She had a bag full of these great zipper pulls I picked out this one that's got the green on it. And then it says 2025, a little charm here that says 2025. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that. There's butterfly, stars, a heart that says made with love, and keys, all kinds of little cute charms. And I put that on my bag that I finished. This is my first finish. I'll just show it to you now since I have it in my hands. At Stitch West, I had started it a few days before and was trying to get it done so I would have this bag for my project bag at Stitch West. But I finished it on Friday, the first morning of Stitch West. And so this is the Primrose Cottage. Stitcher's Gonna Stitch pattern. And Primrose does have these as a set with the bag and the Pearl Cotton number 5 ready for you. You do need the pattern. So the Stitcher's Gonna Stitch pattern, I think it has 3 different patterns in it. I have it here with me. I should just pull it up. Here it is. The Stitcher's Trio is actually what the pattern is called, Stitcher's Trio. And then it's this pattern right here stitched on the bag. So it makes a beautiful bag, but you can also do it on smaller fabric for the pillow. And then this pattern also has the Briscornu and that little house. The house says Home Stitch Home. So Stitcher's Trio from Primrose, and that's the pattern here. So as soon as I got those charms from Sue, I put that on this bag. So I can always connect that together. Perfect place for that charm. Okay, and then Janet. Janet was Mary and Laura's aunt, I believe. Just darling. She got us a sticker. Colorado, that's where she lives. She just got us this great little goodie bag. This Zip It that has a camper and a sunflower and a little bee. This is all from Janet. She got these great floss rings for us. That set. Some sticky notes. This darling needle minder. Cute, cute bird. Before I went to Stitch West, I was thinking, man, I'm kind of running out of needle minders. I need more to have in my project bags and at the ready. And well, Stitch West fixed that right up for me. And then some lip balm. Can always use lip balm. Beautiful. And I have not even opened this. My table mates opened this, so I knew what it was, but I wanted to keep it wrapped up for travel. It is a little dish, and each of our dishes said something different. Mine says dream. Let's see if we can get that to focus. That's so cute. So thank you so much, Janet. My table was just incredible. Such fun ladies. And that's what I hear over and over again about stitching retreats, is that you go, you connect with the gals, and I'm sure some guys go. We just didn't have any that I noticed in our retreat this time. But you connect with them, you make friends because you have this passion and this joy that brings you together in commonality. And then, in addition to those table gifts, we had several ladies just like incredible that made items for everyone in the retreat. It was just incredible. This is from Lori. Lori stitched a lamb for every participant. Can you believe that? All of that stitching, over 200 of these made. Just incredible. A little cute keychain. She added a little bit of charms there. Hopefully that's focused and you can see that well. So Lori, incredible. Just amazing. And one of the things that I had heard from several gals on FlossTube as they shared their experiences from other retreats is as they were sharing their gifts, they would forget who the gifts were from because they weren't tagged. And so I tried to make sure that my name was in my item so that my table mates would know. And I appreciate especially the gals who made items for everyone, that they put their names in them so we know who they are. Because some of them just came by and just gave us a gift and I didn't know who they were or get a chance to introduce them. So this is from Patty, whose FlossTube is Stitching with My Kitties. and she made this awesome goodie bag and passed them out to everyone. It has a darling bee floss wax there. Here's a butterfly needle threader. There's a file in here. There's another more standard needle threader. Folks, a pair of scissors, a keychain, cute little black bows with the blue glitter, and then this cute little froggy. Isn't that so fun? So that whole little pouch from Patty with Stitching with My Kitties. So go check out Patty Stitching with My Kitties and check her out on her FlossTube. This fun little pouch, we had Connie, shout out to Connie and Amy, my Idaho sister stitchers. Connie was incredible, and several weeks ago reached out on the Facebook group for Stitch West and asked, who's an Idaho stitcher? Let's get together as Idaho stitchers and have dinner. And so Connie planned and got reservations for us to have dinner together at the pizza place. It's right there in Ogden, right across from Shepherd's Bush. If you visit Shepherd's Bush, you need to go to the pizza place, and it'll come to me when I'm not here. But Slackwater, there it is, Slackwater Pizza. So we ate dinner together as Idaho Stitchers at Slackwater Pizza, and I will tell you more about why that was even a little extra special in a little bit when I share more about the details. But Connie gave and shared with all of us Idaho Stitchers a little pack as well. A pair of scissors, a needle threader, and a needle minder. She made needle minders out of these darling spools. And she made this one specifically for me. She made sure that I got one that had a bee on it because Connie knows that I'm a beekeeper and love bees. Connie was just the sweetest. We chatted several times. She stopped by my table to say hey as she was walking around. And then a little sponge. I believe this is to help you thread your needles. So you can so you're not spitting on your thread. That's what I think that's for. Connie, correct me if I'm wrong. I know Connie will be watching this, and she'll shout out to me. And then this darling, perfect little case. See this plastic case? And she put 2 needles in here, and she even labeled their sizes. Isn't that genius? So she's got a 26 and a 28 needle in a piece of fabric in this great case. So you've got your emergency stitching kit that includes needles. Just brilliant. Thank you so much, Connie. And Amy is her daughter. So shout out to the 2 of you. We had a couple gals bring around these little, they're mascara wands, and they're fabulous for picking up your little bits after you frog. You just brush it along, and some folks are making them so cute, blinging them up, gluing things to the end to make them a little bit sparkly and cute. So I got a couple of those that were passed around. And I think that might be all the things of Stitchy Kindness. Okay, the next thing I want to share with you is the smalls exchange. So I shared with you in the first segment, sharing what I was bringing to Stitch West and what I was planning for Stitch West, my small that I shared. And I will post a video, or not a video, I will post a photo here of the exchange that I had of the stitcher who received my gift and the stitcher who stitched the gift that I received. So I went up to the table. So we put all of our smalls in, we wrapped them in some way. Most of them were in bags. And many of the bags were themed. So either by color or by design about what might be in the bag. So any stitchers who had an affinity for something could maybe select that might be themed. Well, here's the bag I picked. Can you see that? The lights might be blowing it out a bit, but yes, it's bee themed. So I picked up that bag, and Kim, not the Kim at my table, a different Kim, I won't use last names for privacy, but Kim stitched this beautiful bee pillow. It was so perfect for me. I picked just exactly the right one, and she put this cute ribbon around it. Be creative. Beehive and the bee and the cute little tomato. I am so excited to add this to my bee decor and other bee stitches. And on the back, she put a cute little pin with yellow, white, and black buttons there on the back. So cute. So I picked exactly the right thing. Thank you so much, Kim. It is darling and I love it. So that is the item I received in my Smalls exchange. Okay, I think that's all of my Stitchy goodness. We might find some more as I unpack my next bag. And we're going to take a look at the cart hoppers that happened while I was at Stitch West. It's really tempting when A, you're sitting right by the vendors and the vendors are at your table, and B, when Shepherd's Bush is literally across the street from the retreat. It was awesome to be, we went over there twice, and I went with my table mates and we made a fun little shopping spree out of it. And I've said before that Shepherd's Bush is really my local needlework shop. They're the closest needlework shop to me at about 3 hours away, but I visit and have stopped there a few times. I visit Utah pretty regular basis, 4 or 5 times a year at least, as I'm running errands, and our dentist is still in Utah, so we go down for different things. I go down for work. But every time I go into Shepherd's Bush, I find something new. It is just a wonderland of items. The walls are covered in samples and model stitches, and every nook and cranny is filled with things. So it is an awesome adventure to visit Shepherd's Bush. If you ever get the chance, you absolutely need to go. So that's what I'm going to share with you next, is all of my cart hoppers. I'm going to give a little pause here so I can take things out of the bags and it's not as crinkly for you. Okay, Shepherd's Bush trip number 1. The gals there made these cute cards, and this is the first time I have seen them do these cards, so I'm wondering if they just do them for special events, because that is a lot of work. But they are these cutout flowers, and you can see they put a little needle through. Every purchase that you do with Shepherd's Bush, they always include a needle. They're fantastic that way. And so this got tied to my bag for both purchases that I made over the weekend. They always tie a ribbon around my bag, and they always include a needle, but the needle is usually through a little heart-shaped piece of paper, not a full-on tag with a flower. So that was pretty special. And so my first trip, I focused on some more of the Stitchy bags. And I had been talking to Audrey at my table, and we were both really excited about the sheep-themed bags. So I picked up Sheep, my sheep bag, patterned by Shepherd's Bush, to stitch on the front of the nylon bags. And this, they have it available fully kitted, so I have all of the pearl cotton in there. The buttons, if there are any, are included, and they almost always, there's a needle in there as well, because it does take the larger needle to stitch through that nylon. So this is Sheep by Shepherd's Bush, and that will be stitched on, sorry again for the crinkly, this large Mad for Plaid bag. And these are made by the It's So Emma brand, which is Fat Quarter Shop's brand. So I got this cute purple large bag to go with that pattern. And then I had to get the companion. So this is Lamb Mini Bag, also patterned by Shepherd's Bush. And this one did not need the thread because they use the same colors. But I did grab the buttons for it. I'll show you those buttons up close. Oh, they're getting kind of stuck in there. And the buttons Shepherd's Bush does are always so cute. And if you're going to do the bags, you've got to get the buttons because they really finish the design. You can see one of the flowers right here is the button. And what's the other one? Oh, down here in the grass is another button. So the buttons just really make the bags. And then, folks, do you see this? Okay, this is a cute little scissor end. I think they're also really they were first started for the ends of knitting needles is where I think these started, and then it was seen that they could be put on the end of scissors too to cap off your scissors. Now the crazy thing is I don't currently have a pair of scissors that doesn't have a cap, but I mean, how could I resist? It was just sitting there at the cash register and it was the only bee and needed a home. So now I have to find a pair of scissors that need a cap to them. Because all of my scissors currently, my little snips all have some kind of a covering or something that just came with them. But, I mean, now I need new scissors, so there you go. So that was my first trip to Shepherd's Bush. My second trip, again, my table mate Audrey came back from her trip and had this little guy. So I had to go back to complete my sheep set because I had missed this. This pattern is also part of the larger bag pattern. It comes with these little bonuses of the scissor fob and the pin cushion. And so I had to get the kit, of course, so that I could make those. So this is a little kit. Again, it has the threads and it has the fabric, this beautiful purple, I think it's Ada. And then the fabric to make your pillow and of course a needle. So, oh, and the trim. So all of the things that you need to make those two items. And folks, that was only $11. That's a pretty good deal, I think. All your threads, your trim, your backing fabric, and your stitching fabric for both of those items. Like, incredible. Shepherd's Bush does a great job of kitting things up. And then I talked a couple of FlossTubes ago when I visited the attic how much I loved the model that was in their store of this pattern. This is Plum Street, the New World, and it was just beautiful in person. I've had my eye on it now for several weeks since visiting the attic, and so I had to pick it up. And I've been looking at it in every Stitchy place that I've been in the last few weeks, as April has been quite the Stitchy month with the traveling I've done and the shops I've been able to visit. And Shepherd's Bush had one pattern. So Tina helped me find it, and we dug through the Plum Street bins they have, and there it was, just waiting for me. So I grabbed the pattern, and then I had to grab as much of the fancy floss as was there. Plum Street does a pretty good job of intermingling the fancy floss with DMC. So I think I picked up everything except for oilcloth. That's the one Weeks Dye Works oilcloth color that they did not have. So, but I think I have all of the others here, and then I just need to go through my DMC stash and get the other colors and run to my local Hobby Lobby and pick up whatever I don't already have in stash. The one bummer is that this calls for Hog Bristle by Fox and Rabbit. And it is currently a pretty tricky color to find. I have found it online. I'm just put a little pause button on ordering it at the moment because I have plenty of things in the works right now. So I thought I'd hold off on getting that. And Terry was amazing. She went to go look for Hog Bristle. She's like, well, do you want to try a different cloth? And I said, well, I don't mind trying a different cloth. I just don't know what Hog Bristle looks like. And so it's hard for me to know what might be close to it. She's like, I think I have it in a different count. And so she went over to their fabric and just was searching for several minutes, and she's finally was like, I just can't find it. So I was so grateful for her to spend the time to look for it for me. But we'll just put a little pin in that and pause it for a moment. And when my projects dwindle down just a little bit and I'm ready to start a new big piece, that will be the next one that I will be excited to start. So those were my two shopping sprees, my cart hoppers that happened at Shepherd's Bush. Next, I will share with you what I got from my friends that were vendors, from Mary and Laura at their vendor shop. Okay, from Laura, who is Chicks and Stitches. Okay, little reminder there. There's the name of her shop, Chicks and Stitches. She had these honeybees and stitching please primrose sticker. So I picked that up. And then she had this cute, from, I think it's from Flamingo Toes. Yeah, from Flamingo Toes. Lean out of the picture and see if it will focus better for you. This chicken needle minder. So cute. I saw that and had to have it. And then I had been eyeing Summer Quaker the last few weeks, and she happened to have it. So I picked up Summer Quaker. And then to stitch it, I grabbed Cottage Daisies Classic Colorworks from her. And I do believe that I have some white fabric already in stash. So I think I'm all set. We'll see. To stitch the Summer Quaker. And then last fall, I had been eyeing Dear Friends and had not picked it up, but Laura had it, so I grabbed that from her as well. And then she also had in her stash the new Cactus Wren color from Fox and Rabbit. And she had mostly Aida, so I picked up, this is a 16 count Aida. And I've been, again, looking for a darker neutral, which Cactus Wren is, and I was super excited to get this new color from Fox and Rabbit. So this is a 16 count Aida. I'm not sure, I think it's probably a fat quarter. So I'm excited to find a project to stitch that on. And then I don't have my items from Mary, who is, what is Mary's shop? BU. BU is Mary's shop. EWE, like a lamb. But I bought several skeins of thread. Yes. From Mary. She had Weeks Dye Works, I think is what she had. And so she helped me finish getting the thread that I needed for the Chubby U. And so I was able to start Chubby U, and I'll show my starts and finishes and things in the next segment. So thanks to Mary and Laura for having the few extra goodies on hand that we needed to have a good stitchy time. Another vendor that was there, a lot of EWE names at the retreat. And this vendor was Woolly for You. And she had lots of hand-dyed wool, and she also had punch needle. I need a new hobby like I don't. I've got unfinished knitting, I've got unfinished crochet, all kinds of unfinished cross stitch, quilting patterns and quilting kits that need to be sewn. Folks, I didn't need a new hobby, but I found a new hobby. Punch needle is something that I have really been looking at. Watching Teresa Kogut, and there's a few others that have started punch needle recently that I've seen in the last few months. And Woolly for You, she had this pattern. Lisa is her name, Lisa McComb. I mean, how could I not, folks? It was so cute. The model on display, just darling, this beehive that was punch needle. And I said, okay, I've never punch needle before. How do you do it? She gave me a demonstration. Let me try it out. And so easy. Another thing I can do in the car. I've been looking for easier car things I can do because we are going on a cross-country trip this summer. And I will have time in the car, and I want to use that time wisely, of course. So I picked up the pattern, buzzing around, and then I picked up the tool here, the punch needle set. This is the Ultra Punch. So, and her pattern comes with the printed fabric. So the pattern's already printed on the fabric. The instructions are what the pattern's there. And so it's ready to go. I just need to get the floss, kit it up, start punch needling, folks. I don't know. And then of course she had a bee sticker that I had to grab at Woolly for You. And then I will do a separate little video coming up to show you about this incredible tool that Lisa had. This is called a thread separator. It's brilliant. And I know it doesn't look like much. It looks like a charm right here with a little clip. And here's the charm. If you have not seen one of these, just wait. I will share with you. This video is going to be too long, so I won't share it in this video, but in an upcoming video, I will share how this tool works, and it's awesome. So here's Lisa's information. Check her out. It's pretty awesome. So that is a thread separator. Again, I'll show you. Okay. Oh. I also got this from Laura at Chicken Stitches. Yeah, I was right. This great vinyl front, again, bee bag. The vinyl is bees. That's not fabric. That is the vinyl, folks. Isn't that awesome? And then cute little, those are bees with flowers inside. And then the vinyl bees on the front. There's the back. Super well made bag. It is sturdy. It has a really good stabilizer in it, so it's not floppy. This is nice and sturdy. So a well made vinyl bag. My table friends pointed that out to me, and of course I had to have it. Okay, so that is all of my cart hoppers, I think, for Stitch West in particular. And then because I stayed in Utah a couple of days, I actually went down to the Salt Lake Valley and had the opportunity to stop and see pine needles, which is in a little shopping area called Gardner Village in the West Jordan area of the South Salt Lake Valley. And so I decided to take the opportunity. I might as well. I'm on a stitching trip and stop at pine needles. And, oh, sorry, I'm going to crinkle. Unbeknownst to me, it is the Utah Quilt Hop Shop this week and weekend, coming up the first weekend in May, and the store was packed. There were lots and lots and lots of quilting ladies in pine needles. So it was a little chaotic, and I get a little overwhelmed when stores are so crowded. That was part of the difficulty I had with Shepherd's Bush too, with so many ladies from the retreat all there. It's overwhelming. The store is overwhelming. There's so much in there, plus all of the people in the shop. But they have a really good sized section of cross stitch, and they if you haven't seen pine needles, they do a weekly table talk YouTube. They share both their stitching items and quilting items. They're mainly a quilt shop. That's their area of expertise and specialty, but in the last couple of years they have really expanded their cross stitch, and they have a good size section of their store that is cross stitch. They had linen that was really well organized and lots of patterns. I was really actually surprised at the variety of floss that they had as well. So I was looking and I saw that they had the Americana series by October House. They had all three, the red, white, and blue, available. And I've been eyeing those a little bit, and I kept looking, and then I saw their fabric. And folks, I saw this beautiful blue fabric. This is a 36 count linen, and I am kicking myself because the way they have it organized is they had them all pre-cut and in a bag with a paper label on the front of the bag, and I did not take a picture or remember. So I don't know the maker of this fabric, but it is beautiful. I don't know the maker or the name. I just know that it is a gorgeous denim blue, and it is 36 count. And I saw this, and then my mind went back to the October House patterns, and I thought, I have to stitch that in reverse. So I wasn't necessarily tied to the color for the patterns, blue, red, or white. I just wanted the one that I liked the best. I was not going to stitch all three of them. So I picked the blue. That's the one, the pattern and motif that I liked the best. And I thought, well, perfect. It didn't have to happen that way, but I knew I wanted to reverse stitch. And so whichever one of those, red, white, or blue, I was going to stitch on the blue. And I'm in a bit of a conundrum. So in the comments, I need you to tell me whether you would stitch this with white or red floss. Let me know what you think. I'm very unlikely to stitch the other two patterns at this point. This is the one I like the best and the one I'm planning to stitch. So tell me, I've waffled back and forth. I sat in front of the floss and just couldn't bring myself to buy floss at Pine Needles because I wasn't sure if I wanted to stitch it in the red or the white. So comment down below and tell me which one you would use to stitch it, and we'll see if I go with your choice. So that is Americana Blue by October House Fiber Arts, And I'm so sorry. I wish I knew the name of this, but it's beautiful. I might, if you really want to know, I can call this shop maybe after the shop hop next week and see if they can find the name for me, the name and the color, because it is gorgeous. So that's what I picked up at Pine Needles today on my way home. All right. The next segment I want to share with you is what I stitched on during Stitch West. I didn't do as much stitching as I thought I would. Stitching for 3 days, though, it sounds incredible, and it was. It is really hard to sit for 3 days on hotel chairs and stitch. These hotel chairs actually were really nice. They had some give to them. We could lean back in them. They were cushioned pretty well. So as far as hotel conference type chairs and setups go, they were actually quite comfortable. But there is a point at which sitting all day just is rough. And by that last day, I think I did more walking and wandering and getting up than I did stitching. But I did manage to stitch several things. I shared with you earlier that I finished this stitching bag. That was my first item that I stitched and just got done real quick. So that was my first finish. And then I spent a good amount of time stitching my my sampler from Sampler Guild of the Rockies. I shared this, I think, in my last YouTube. This is Anne Hallam 1816. Yep. And this was the special sampler done this April for that guild. And I got quite a bit done. I got all of the words done. I posted that on my Instagram. So if you want a better full picture of that, you can check out my Instagram. But so that saying is completely done. Words are complete. And the border's complete. It's difficult to see there throughout. We'll see what my next plan is. I'm not sure where I'm going to go. I've thought about just diving into the border and finishing the border and then getting to the motifs. A fellow stitcher and guild member was there working on it as well. And she had started up in the upper left-hand corner and had all of this area really going well. So I spent a lot of time on that, finishing those words. And then I started, it just fell. One moment, please. Hold, please. Here we go. Sorry about that. Chubby U. This was a pattern that I picked up towards the beginning of April when I visited Shepherd's Bush earlier this month, and I brought along and was hoping to start that. Shepherd's Bush had it all kitted. I had the fabric. They had the fabric there cut to size. And then I didn't have all of the flosses. So again, Mary helped me grab the flosses, and my needle is stuck in there, friends. But this is how far I got this weekend. I think on my Instagram I posted how far I got by the end of the actual retreat. I got the sheep's body done. And then stitching that night in the hotel, I got the rest of this in. So I finished that Sunday night. I got that far. Pretty good progress. So that's Chubby U. That's by Jeanette Douglas. And then we had our projects. So Shepherd's Bush was the designer for Stitch West this time. It all just was the whole package Shepherd's Bush weekend. And so when they came, they spent some great time telling us the story of their shop, how they got started, and their growing experience as a business, as designers. And it was just lovely to hear from them. And I will post pictures again here of either at the beginning, somewhere in this video will be pictures from the retreat. And probably I'll just post them here of Tina and Terry sharing and talking to us about and then they shared with us about how they designed and what their inspiration was for the designs they shared with us Saturday night. So they passed this cute little bag out, which contained our goodies to each retreat member, all packaged up so cute. And in that bag were 3 items. And so both Tina and Terry created a pattern. Terry did a brand new bag. This is Quaker Peace in the mini bag size. And then Tina created this beautiful pillow Hope pincushion. So cute. And we got them with all of the things to get them up, just not fabric again. Different strokes for different folks in the fabric. And so this did not come with fabric, but it came with everything else we need to finish it. But the bag did come with the bag. So we were able to start this as soon as we wanted. And the third thing in that kit were the supplies to make this darling charm. So that was our activity for Saturday evening, was everyone was able to get out our beads and our ribbon and make this darling sheep charm. So we did that activity together after we heard from them, and then I stitched the bag. And I stitched it all Saturday night. So they came and did their presentation at 7, and I left the retreat as pretty much when they were done. It was probably around 9 o'clock Saturday. And then I was done with this by midnight. So there is my finish, my start and finish for Stitch West, my cute piece bag. And I am keeping my lamb in this right now. My chubby ewe is now all kitted in there and being held in my piece bag. So that is the awesome, fun project that we received from the Shepherd's Bush ladies. A few additional things just to share with you real quick. Of course, giveaways are a part of the retreat, and I was a lucky winner of the brand new stitching quilt pattern from Primrose Cottage. And I'm super excited to stitch this. They're having a stitch along with Primrose Cottage. The girls are going to come live on May 1st and do a little bit of a stitch along. So now I'm excited. I've been eyeing this pattern, but again, held off because I was like, okay, Melissa, you've got enough. You're working on plenty. But I'm super excited to get this pattern. And the Shepherd's Bush had the Primrose Cottage new stitching patterns, their models in shop over the weekend. The Primrose gals brought those up to be displayed in the Shepherd's Bush shop, and they were just beautiful. The models are always better in person. And the Quaker, I'm in love with the Quaker. So the Quaker will have to be on my list to get as well, so I can have the Quaker and the quilts. I do love the rules, but again, I have so much going on, and they're not like an immediate love and have to do project for me right now, so I probably will hold off on the rules. But the Quaker was beautiful. And then the Stitch West gals, Kefren and Debbie, also shared this floss organizer with us as well. This was another gift from those gals. I bought a t-shirt and a sweatshirt as well. I'm sure I will wear those on another video. They're in the laundry now because I just unpacked all the things, so I don't have those with me. So those are my big takeaways from Stitch West. Now I just want to take a quick minute. This video I know is getting pretty long, but I wanted to share with you some of the highlights of my time there and about how the weekend went. So we got there Friday. I drove down that morning, Friday morning, and arrived just before 10 o'clock, which is when the doors were going to be open and we could start registering at 10 o'clock. So I already shared my line experience and getting to meet Kim and Sue and Audrey, and how just destiny. It was so great. And Kim and I just especially had a wonderful time. Both Audrey and Sue had their husbands with them for the weekend, so they did their meals and things with their husbands while they were there. But Kim and I didn't have anyone, so we enjoyed meals together and chatting and just being together. And it was so fun to get to know her. So that was our Friday, was pretty much stitching, giveaways here and there, and then Friday night was a smalls exchange. So we all just put our smalls on the table, and then at 7 o'clock we had the exchange. They called us up randomly by tables to pick our bags, and then we had time to go meet our exchange sister, or what, exchange stitcher, whatever. And then Saturday, pretty much the same kind of outline, but the doors opened at 8 a.m. both Saturday and Sunday. I did not get there that early. I am not a morning person, even for Stitchy friends. So I arrived, I think, around 9:30 on Friday, and even later than that on Sunday, or on Saturday, and then later than that on Sunday. Same kind of thing. We stitched all day. There were a few times for the giveaways, and then we had Shepherd's Bush present to us Saturday night. And then Sunday, again, doors opened at 8. I got there around 10. And then again, mostly Stitchy time, a few giveaways. And Kim and I wrapped up around 4:30 and left about 4:30. Friday night was our meeting with our Idaho Stitchers for dinner. And only about half of those that we thought would come came. So I think Connie had planned for about 12 people and made a reservation for about 12 people. And I think we had 6 or 8 people that had come. And it just so happened that the ladies of Primrose Cottage were in line behind us. And they were told it was an hour wait. And so one of the dear, kind members of our Idaho party said, hey, only half of us are here. We should invite the Primrose ladies to sit with us so they don't have to wait an hour. So we did. We invited them to sit with us, and it was awesome. Folks, I had dinner with the Primrose Cottage ladies. I was trying so hard to not overly fangirl and to be just a regular person meeting regular people. Oh, it was so hard. And I wanted a picture so badly, and they would have been amazing and so kind to me if I had asked for a picture. But I just couldn't be that person. So we didn't get a picture at dinner together. But I had a lovely chat with Katie and Nettie. I mean, Katie's sitting next to me and Nettie's across the table from me. And we just chatted like regular people. It was awesome. They are wonderful gals. Lindsay was telling a little bit about how kind of her journey a little bit and talking about some of the patterns that she's recently stitched. Just as she has on her YouTube channel, shared about her upcoming patriotic series that she's excited to release and how passionate she was about it and how excited she was to release those. And Nettie shared about living in St. George and what it was like, what she likes about it, and a little bit of her past history and where they've lived and her travels and things like that. And Katie was just sweet, and we just chatted just generally about things. We talked about my nails and my daughter being a nail tech. But how incredible that I ate dinner with the Primrose Cottage gals. Yeah, pinch me. So that was awesome. And then Katie was so sweet and said hi to me a couple of other times just during the retreat the next 2 days and stopped me and was like, oh yeah, we had dinner together. Hey, remind me your name. Just a brief little chat like that. So they're just lovely gals. And they donated some of their patterns to give away throughout the weekend. And I'm so excited to be a recipient of one of them. So how cool, right? And several other ladies that we know from YouTube. I can't name them all because if I tried, I couldn't. But familiar faces. And we're all just regular people who love stitching. And it's just so fun to get together and interact and share with one another. So bottom line, go to a retreat if you can. And I'm excited for the next one. There's announcements apparently coming up, but I don't want to be the one to let that cat out of the bag. I'll let someone else be the cat. But let's just say I'm looking forward to next year, and I'm going to be saving my pennies for a trip to southern Utah. And having my ear to the ground. I think the cat's already out of the bag because it was widely announced, but I'm not going to be that person. That's probably way too much of a clue already. But I'm super excited for next year, and keep your eyes and ears open. And I'm hoping to be like, set the alarms, set the bells, all the things. So exciting things. My takeaways from the retreat. I shared with you the things that I planned to take, and all of them were exactly what we needed. My Stitchy mat from Hobby Lobby, the bee dish drying mat, was amazing. It did exactly what I hoped it would do. It caught my threads, it caught my drop needles, and it was just like the right texture to just grab onto my thread so it wasn't falling all over the floor and all over my lap. So my Stitchy mat was fantastic. I loved my Stitchy box and having that right there with me. My lights were okay. They did the job they needed to do, but Audrey and Sue had the Daylight Goes and they let us try them out. Okay, I get the hype. And when I have $100 to spend on a light, I will make that purchase. But for now, my cheap neck light and my little Z light, they did okay. They were okay. I brought far too much to work on. Way too many patterns, but also I'm glad I brought what I did because I actually didn't work on the things that I thought I would, if that makes sense. So I'm glad that I had an overabundance of options. So depending on my mood and what I was ready for, that I could stitch them. I think beyond that, Audrey had a K's creation, just a letter K, apostrophe S, table stand. And we talked a lot about her stand, and I was very intrigued by that. And Audrey is amazing. She had brought a full stand. I have it over here in my chair. Let's see if I can get it. And she said, hey, I brought my stand, and I was planning to just put it in the free table or give it away to someone. I'll just give it to you. You can just take the stand. Folks, Audrey gifted me the stand. Isn't that incredible? Just the kindness of fellow stitchers is amazing. And so I stitch in my Stitchy spot. If you go to my Instagram, you can see that. And in my recliner chair, I think this will be perfect. I obviously haven't tried it yet. And I have not tried a stand or any kind of a Stitchy holder in that regard. But I'm excited to try it. And if I like that, I may invest in a K's Creation stand. They are not as expensive as some of those really high-end, like the Patoki and other really specialty table stands. I have really had my eyes on the Lowry stand. So someday, maybe, eventually. But the K's Creation stand that Audrey was using, it looked awesome. It held all of the different kinds of hoops that she had the Q-snap. It would also hold just a regular hoop, and so super versatile. You can hold it in your lap or have it up on the table. I was very intrigued by the K's Creation stand. So tell me your thoughts. Do you use a stand? Have you tried the K's Creation? Have you tried the Lowry? What are your favorites? Because I use a Q-snap and I hold it in my left hand while I stitch one-handed, and often I'm not good enough to do the sewing method, or probably brave enough. So I'm one hand stitching, pulling through while I'm holding it, and this hand gets really tired. And I have had a history of some tendonitis and wrist problems, so before that gets worse, I'm thinking I really need to look into not ruining my wrists. Right? Okay, I think, friends, that is plenty long. This is a long video, but I just had a wonderful time, and encourage you, if you can, to go to a retreat near you. They are all over the country. If you're not in the US, there are several that are outside of the US, so find one near you. I think Canada has Stitch North, and maybe some others that I don't even know about. There are some in Europe. But keep your eyes and ears out and connect with some Stitchy friends in your country or your region if you're in the US. Hobby House just had an amazing, what looks to be amazing. I wasn't there. But Hobby House just had a retreat as well that many Stitchers attended. And it's kind of like retreat time, the spring through the fall, in these summer months and spring months and fall months seem to be kind of the season for retreats. And oftentimes 6 months to a year out, these retreats open up registration. So keep your eyes and ears open. I think there's a few Instagram accounts that actually follow them. The Sable Stitchers, I think, runs one of those Instagram, if you know it, post it down below. Instagram profiles that share different retreats and events and things. So just keep your eyes and ears open, and you do need to plan in advance. So that is one thing you need to keep in mind. Stitch West happens every spring and fall. So there is a fall one that is happening, and the registration for that is already up and going. But if you're interested, put your name on the list. I waited about a day before putting on my name on the list, maybe even longer than a day, for this April Stitch West, and I thought, surely I'm way down the list. I'm not going to get a spot. But incredibly, I think it was in January, the beginning of the year, maybe over Christmas break, I got the email that said, hey, spots opened up. If you want it, pay for the registration fee and the spot's yours. So people cancel, people change their minds, especially because these register so early. So it's not a lost cause, and it's worth a try if you're interested and have the means and ability to do it. Okay, friends, I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. I'm not ahead at all. This is super long. Sorry. I got long-winded because I was so excited. So I will see you again soon to share more of my Stitchy goodness, follow up with you, share with you about the thread separator, which is a life changer. So look forward in a coming video for me to share more of my Stitchy experiences and excitement with you. And in the meantime, happy stitching. Bye-bye. Please enjoy a few of the photos that I've inserted here at the end of the video. Again, production-wise, it was just too hard to insert them throughout the video, so I've just attached them all here at the end. You can see some of the girls I met, you can see the projects that we did, and a little bit of the setup that was done at Stitch West. Thank you to Kefren and Debbie. Snug Harbor Crafts, you need to go follow them. They do FlossTube, and they put on events both in the spring and the fall. I think they also have a Europe trip coming up. I don't know if that's full or not. You could reach out to them and get more information if that's of interest to you. So thank you. I neglected to give a big thank you in my main video, but enjoy these few photos that I managed to take throughout the weekend, and happy stitching. Bye for now.